All right, shalom, shalom. We'll start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Akakwadash. Double honor to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and a few Akwath who may be listening. This is your brother Batakallah from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. We're going to get right into it. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6 and verse 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon the earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. But lay up treasures, but lay for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt, and where thieves do not break through nor steal. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. All right, so of course, we live in this on this earth and in this society, but we're not supposed to be after the things of the world, man, as far as putting that first. Okay, is it wrong to have nice things? No, it's not going off to have nice things. It's not going off to want nice things, but it is going off to put those wants above the Lord. All right, and that's what a lot of jakes do. That's what this society is geared towards, making Jake put things ahead of the Lord. All right, like Judith the 5th chapter speaks about. When Jake is in sin and when Jake is going off, the Lord hedge is not around us, and the heathens can take us down and take us over. So these heathens are constantly trying to make sure that we putting things ahead of the Lord so that his hedge is not around us and we can be devoured. All right. Salakia. All right, but the Lord, he's armed certain individuals with the understanding of the situation and with the knowledge of what needs to be done to overcome these things. All right, this Isaiah 33 and 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. But the fear of Yahweh, Salakia, the fear of Yahweh is his treasure. All right, so, right now we're learning, we're training to make sure that we always keep the Lord first, make sure that we don't put anything above the Lord, including ourselves, regardless of sufferings or losses that we take or whatever. All right, because there's going to come a time where, we're not going to be able to have access to society if we don't put what this devil wants above the Lord, man. We've been given clear instructions not to do certain things, and this devil is going to require you to do those things that the Lord said not to do in order for you to participate in in this devil society, man. And we're going to have to be able to have faith in the Lord and put the Lord first and be willing to endure whatever we got to endure, be willing to lose whatever we got to lose in order to continue to keep the Lord first in our life so that the Lord will then fight for us and Lord willing deliver us in the end, man. All right. And we, like the scriptures say, things written aforetime is for our learning. We got examples of men of the Lord who have taken losses, man. And they kept the Lord first and they were rewarded for that. All right, Salakia. That's what I thought. All right. This is James chapter 5 and verse 10. Take my brethren the prophets who have spoken in the name of Yahweh for an example of suffering, affliction, and of patience. All right. And all the prophets of old was all pretty much killed, man. Jake, these wicked ass 2/3 Jakes then killed off all the prophets because Jake liked to hear smooth things and don't want to get in order when the Lord sends men in his name to correct Jake. Jake get mad. And so, the result of that is that a vast majority of the prophets was put to death and lived a life of having to deal with hard-headed Jakes, living life on the run, etc. All right. But they held firm. They kept the Lord first and they did what their job was. And, the Lord didn't forget that, man. The Lord is not one that he's going to forget the things you did. He's not a man, all right? The Lord ain't going to be forgetful of good turns. If you do the work for the Lord is going to fight for you, all right? This James 5 and 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job and have seen the end of Yahweh, that Yahweh is very pitiful and of tender mercy. All right. So, as we know, and we're going to get that, but as we know, Job, he lost everything, sons, daughters, all of his material goods, his animals, etc. And, he just endured through that. He didn't curse the Lord. The Lord had to tighten him up here and there, so to say, get his mind right, but he never cursed the Lord, and he never turned his back on the Lord, even though he was going through all those things. And when you read the story, you know, the Lord sent Satan after Job to test him. All right. And that's what the Lord does to each and every one of us, man. Anything that happens, the Lord has to sanction it. There's nothing going on in this existence, or whatever you want to call it, that the Lord is not in charge of and orchestrating. All this shit that these Christians tell you about Satan being a rogue and doing whatever he wants to do is fake, man. That's not real. All right. The Lord is omnipotent and all powerful. Nobody can do anything that he doesn't want them to do. That includes Satan and everybody on down that's underneath the Lord, Yahweh Shai, first and foremost. But from anybody that's underneath Yahweh, got to get the blessing from him to do anything. It ain't nobody that's doing shit and the Lord ain't green lighted. All right. But nonetheless, Satan went. The Lord gave Satan permission to jack Job up, told him to do it. And Satan jacked him up. But Job endured, and he didn't curse the Lord, and he was rewarded for that at his latter end. This Job 42:12. So Yahweh blessed the latter end of Job more than his beginning. And he had 14,000 sheep and 6,000 camels and 1,000 yoke of oxen and 1,000 she asses. And he had also 7 sons and 3 daughters. And he called the name of the first Jemimah, Salakia, and the name of the second Keza, and the name of the third Karenapuk, Salakia. And in all the land were no women found so fair as the daughters of Job, and their father gave them inheritance among their brethren. After this lived Job 140 years, and saw his sons and his sons' sons, even 4 generations. So Job died being old and full of days. All right. And that's another thing that we got to remember, man. It's not the end of the world when something negative happens to you. All right. Regardless of how bad it is, it's not the end of the world. All right. If you keep your faith and keep the Lord first and keep doing the work of the Lord, better days going to come. It's ups and downs in this life. And that's what we got to understand. Everything isn't all good and everything isn't all bad. It's about balance. And when we go through the things that we go through, they're learning lessons. All right. It's not to hurt or to destroy us. It's to teach us, man. But you got to keep that in the forefront of your mind, especially when things are not going good, because that's when it's the hardest and that's when it's the easiest for Satan to sift you out. All right. But, Job endured what he had to endure and was allowed to live another 140 years after that, and to see his family flourish, man. And, got all of his materials not only replaced, but increased. And he was good, because he kept his integrity and he didn't turn his back on the Lord. And that's how we got to be, because things is going to get real contested out here. All right. Certain brothers going to get bagged up by Esau. Certain brothers going to get put to death. Certain brothers going to be on the run, living in the wilderness, man, trying to make it out here until the Lord come back. And we're going to have to endure all of that, whatever it is that the Lord got in store for us as individuals. And Lord willing, we all endure to the end. And we can make it onto the chariot, man, while all of these 2/3 and these heathens get cooked here in America. And whoever gets destroyed throughout the earth, them too. And then, we come back and we set things right, man. But with that being said, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim and the few Aquat who may be listening. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Until next time, Shalom and a Baba Ball.